The origins and meanings of Christmas. Christmas is a Christian festival celebrating the birth of Jesus. The English term Christmas, i.e. Mass on Christ's Day, is of fairly recent origin. The earlier term Yule may have derived from the Germanic Yule or Anglo-Saxon Gale, which referred to the feast of the winter solstice. The corresponding terms in other languages, Navidad in Spanish, Natal in Italian, Noel in French, all probably denote nativity. The German word Weihnachten denotes hallowed night. Since the early 20th century, Christmas has also been a secular family holiday observed by Christians and non-Christians alike, often devoid of non-Christian elements and marked by an increasingly elaborate exchange of gifts. In this secular celebration, a mythical figure named Santa Claus plays the pivotal role. Christmas is celebrated on Sunday, December 25th. Origin and development. The early Christian community distinguished between the identification of the date of Jesus' birth and liturgical celebration of that event. The actual observance of the day of Jesus' birth was long in coming. In particular, during the first 2 centuries of Christianity, there was strong opposition to recognizing births of martyrs or, for that matter, of Jesus. Numerous church fathers offered sarcastic commentary about the pagan custom of celebrating birthdays when, in fact, saints and martyrs should be honored on the days of their martyrdom, the true birthdays from the church's perspective. The precise origin of assigning December 25th as the birth date of Jesus is unclear. The New Testament provides no clues in this regard. December 25th was first identified as the date of Jesus' birth by Sextus Julius Africanus in 22-1, and later became the universally accepted date. One widespread explanation of the origin of this date is that December 25th was Christianizing the date of Dies Solis Invicti Nati, the day of the birth of the unconquered sun, which had been a popular Roman holiday that celebrated the winter solstice as a symbol of the resurgence of the sun, the casting away of winter, and the heralding of the rebirth of spring and summer. Indeed, after December 25th had become widely accepted as the date of Jesus' birth, Christian writers frequently made the connection between the rebirth of the sun and the birth of the Son of Man. One of the difficulties with this view is that it suggests a nonchalant willingness on the part of the Christian church to appropriate a pagan festival when the early church was in fact so intent on distinguishing itself categorically from pagan and practices and beliefs. A second view suggests that December 25th became the date of Jesus' birth by a priori reasoning that identified the spring equinox as the date of the creation of the world and the 4th day of creation, when the light was created, as the day of Jesus' conception, such as March 25th. December 25th, 9 months later, then became the date of Jesus' birth. For a long time, the celebration of Jesus' birth was in conjunction with this baptism celebrated January 6th. Christmas began to be widely celebrated with a special liturgy in the 9th century, but did not attain the liturgical importance of either Good Friday or Easter, the other 2 major Christian holidays. Roman Catholic churches celebrate the first Christmas Mass at midnight, and Protestant churches have increasingly held candlelight services late in the evening of December 24th. A special service of lessons and carols intertwines Christian carols with scripture readings narrating salvation history from the fall of the Garden of Eden to the coming of Christ. The service, inaugurated by E.W. Benson and adopted at the University of Cambridge, has since become widely popular. Contemporary customs in the West. None of the contemporary Christians' customs have their origin in theological or liturgical affirmations, and most are of fairly recent date. The Renaissance humanist Sebastian Bant recorded in Das Narren Schiff, 1494, The Ship of Fools, that the custom of placing branches of fir trees in houses. Even though there is some uncertainty about the precise date and origins of the tradition of the Christmas tree, it appears that fir trees decorated with apples were first known in Strasbourg in 1605. The use of candles on such trees is widely recorded by a Silesian duchess in 1611. The Advent wreath, made of fir branches with 4 candles denoting the 4 Sundays of the Advent season, is of even more recent origin, especially in North America. This custom, which began in the 19th century but had roots in the 16th, originally involved a fir tree with 24 candles, the 24 days before Christmas, starting with December 1st. But the awkwardness of having so many candles on the wreath caused a reduction to 4. An analogous custom is the Advent calendar, which provides 24 openings, one to be opened each day beginning December 1st. According to tradition, the calendar was created in the 19th century by a Munich housewife who was tired of having to answer endlessly when Christmas would come. The first commercial calendars were printed in Germany in 1851. The intense preparation that is part of the commercialization of the holiday has blurred the traditional liturgical distinction between Advent and the Christmas season, as can be seen by the placement of Christmas trees in sanctuaries well before December 25th. Toward the end of the 18th century, the practice of giving gifts to family members became well established. Theologically, the feast day reminded Christians of God's gift of Jesus to humankind, even as the coming of the wise men or magi to Bethlehem suggested that Christmas was somehow related to gift giving. The practice of giving gifts, which goes back to the 15th century, contribute to the view that Christmas was a secular holiday focused on family and friends. This was one reason why Puritans in Old and New England opposed the celebration of Christmas, and in both England and America succeeded in banning its observance. The tradition of celebrating Christmas as a secular family holiday is splendidly illustrated by a number of English Christian Christmas carols such as Here We Come A-Sailing or Deck the Halls. It can also be seen in the practice of sending Christmas cards, which began in England in the 19th century. Moreover, in countries such as Austria and Germany, the connection between the Christian festival and the family holiday is made by identifying the Christ child as the giver of gifts to the family. In some European countries, St. Nicholas appears on his feast day, December 6th, bringing modest gifts of candy and other gifts to children. In North America, the pre-Christmas role of the Christian St. Nicholas was transformed under the poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, or 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, into the increasingly central role of Santa Claus as a source of Christmas gifts for the family. While both name and attire, a version of the ceremonial dress of a bishop of Santa Claus reveals his Christian roots, and his role of querying children about their past behavior replicates that of St. Nicholas. He is seen as a secular figure. In Australia, for example, where people attend open-air concerts of Christmas carols and have their Christmas dinner on the beach, Santa Claus actually wears red swimming trunks as well as a white beard. In most European countries, gifts are exchanged on Christmas, December 24th, in keeping with the notion that the baby Jesus was born on the night of the 24th. The morning of December 25th, however, has become the time for the exchange of gifts in North America. In the 17th and 18th centuries in Europe, the modest exchange of gifts took place in the early hours of the 25th, when the family returned home from the Christmas Mass. When the evening of the 24th became the time for the exchange of gifts, Christmas Mass was set into the late afternoon that day. In North America, the centrality of the morning, the 25th, is the time for family to open presents is led, with the exception of Catholics and some Lutherans and Episcopalians, to the virtual end of holding church services that day. A striking illustration of the way societal customs influence liturgical practices. Given the importance of Christmas as one of the major feast days, most European countries observe, under Christian influence, December 26th as a second Christmas holiday. This practice recalls the ancient liturgical notion that the celebration of Christmas, as well as that of Easter and the Pentecost, should last the entire week. The week-long observance, however, was successfully reduced to Christmas Day and a single additional holiday on December 26th. Contemporary customs in Eastern and Oriental Orthodoxy. Eastern Orthodox churches honor Christmas on December 25th. However, for those that continue to use the Julian calendar for their liturgical observances, the date corresponds to January 7th on the Gregorian calendar. The churches of the Oriental Orthodox Communion celebrate Christmas variously. For example, in Armenia, the first country to adopt Christianity as its official religion, the church actually uses its own calendar, which honors January 6th as Christmas. In Ethiopia, where Christianity has had a home since the 4th century, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church celebrates Christmas on January 7th. Syriac churches celebrate Christmas on December 25th. The Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem, however, the Syriac Orthodox Church celebrates Christmas on January 6th, along with the Armenian Church. Congregations of the Coptic Orthodox Church of Alexandria follow the date of December 25th on the Julian calendar, which corresponds to Kayak 29 on the ancient Coptic calendar. Christmas customs in other areas. With the spread of Christianity beyond Europe and North America, the celebration of Christmas was transferred to societies throughout the non-Western world. In many of these countries, Christians are not the majority population, and therefore, the religious holiday is not a cultural holiday. Christmas customs in these societies thus often echo Western traditions, because the people there were exposed to Christianity as a religion and cultural artifact of the West. Central and South America, religious and secular traditions mark the Christmas celebration. In Mexico, on days leading up to Christmas, the search of Mary and Joseph for a place to stay is reenacted, and children try to break a piñata filled with toys and candy. Christmas is a great summer festival in Brazil, including picnics, fireworks, and other festivities, as well as a solemn procession of priests to the church to celebrate midnight mass. In some parts of India, the evergreen Christmas tree is replaced by the mango or bamboo tree, and houses are decorated with mango leaves and paper stars. Christmas largely remains a Christian holiday and is not observed otherwise. Japan serves as an illustration of a different sort. That predominantly Shinto and Buddhist country, the secular aspects of the holiday, such as Christmas trees, even the singing of Christmas songs such as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or White Christmas, are widely observed instead of the religious aspects. Thank you.